Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have today a person whom we can call as an aspiring social entrepreneur. What does it mean? Let's listen to him and find out. Right now, we have with us Phani Kondeti. So, over to you, Phani.
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, I'm very glad to be part of this. I really appreciate the kind of initiative that you are doing to provide a platform for the people to express their journeys, their aspirations. And I thank you very much for providing me this opportunity to be part of this. Myself, I am Phani Kondeti. I graduated from IIT Guwahati in computer science stream and I worked with Oracle for 8 years. But my life in corporate career didn't give me enough motivation or didn't give me enough satisfaction of doing more for the world. So by 2019, I'm also married. Both me and my wife left our jobs and pursued a preparation phase wherein we aspire to become part of Indian Administrative Service. So we prepared for UPSC for 4 years, and in 2023, I completed my attempts of UPSC. So 32 is the age limit. So when I reached the age limit, when I couldn't get through UPSC, even though I attended the interview, I never made it to the final list. So taking that setback in stride, I decided if administration is not the way to give back to the society, I wanted to do something from social entrepreneurship side. So that's the phase which kickstarted a lot of self journey, a lot of self discovery to understand what I can do, in which ways I can contribute. And the thought process ultimately led me to starting Citijan, which is a social venture. In the meanwhile, my wife was fortunate enough to get into APPSC Group 1 services. So she's presently working as a Mandal level development officer with the government of Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. So, tell us more about yourself and what you are doing, what your wife is doing. What is it all about?
Yes, sir, definitely. So, before getting into what Citizen is about, I would just like to express my gratitude for UPSC. UPSC preparation changes one person in multitude of ways. So, it provides a broad perspective on all the world issues that we take a look at. Most of the times, whenever we see any news clippings in media or any article in social media, it gives only one perspective. But UPSC preparation changes a person's way of looking at all the things in the world. It provides a diverse spectrum of opinions in it. It makes one person visualize all the diverse perspectives around any issue. I can say with 100% confidence that UPSC preparation made me a better person, a better citizen, and a better human being. So, having thought a lot about in what ways I can contribute to the world, it led me to a firm belief that democracy is capable of solving each and every problem of humanity. But if democracy itself is suffering from some problems, what could be the solutions to solve democracy's problems?
Mm-hmm.
That is when a realization struck in me that technology could be a solution to solve democracy's problems. Through technology, we can bring in transparency and accountability to democratic systems and democratic processes that we have. So, to make such technology accessible and available to all sections of the society is the vision with which I have started Citizen.
Okay. What technologies are you looking at?
So, to put it simply, Citizen is a social orchestration platform that is going to simplify the interactions between diverse stakeholders of democracy. It is envisioned as a single integrated platform to fulfill civic and democratic needs of citizens. So when I say diverse stakeholders of democracy, it includes both the people, the normal citizens, the governments, administration, NGOs, civil society organizations, media, and CSR entities, corporate social responsibility entities, and so on. So in today's world, what we see is there is a lot of good that is happening with each and every stakeholders. We hear news about several NGOs doing tremendous work for social impact. We see several government initiatives and several wonderful initiatives from the administration also to cater to social needs at the grassroots level. But what we are noticing is there is synergy missing in the efforts of all these diverse stakeholders. If every participant pushes in a direction that he feels most comfortable in, what we are lacking is the synergy and coherent action between diverse stakeholders. What we aim to do with Citizen is to build a structured community framework wherein people at one particular community level can petition what are their local needs and push every stakeholder of democracy in that shared direction of solving their local community problem.
Okay. Is there any other organization similar to yours, or this is pretty original?
Sir, I wouldn't say this as a pretty original. So what we are noticing is with the explosion of social media, people are opening up, people are using Facebook, Twitter, and all such kind of social media platforms to express their grievances and to raise petitions. We see instances wherein people raise complaints, tag union ministers or chief minister to resolve an issue that they are facing in their local community. And there are also several government-run websites. For example, at the central government level, we have CPGram, Centralized Public Grievance Redressal Management System. And almost every state government maintains a grievance redressal system.
Mhm.
In Andhra Pradesh, we have something called Spandana. In Telangana, there is something called Prajavani. In Kerala, there is Santvanam portal. So there are existing platforms where people can express their grievances and demand public action.
Yeah.
But we have identified two problems with the existing platforms.
Yeah.
One, there is no collaborative approach. What I mean to say is, if I face an issue next to my house, for example, it could be a pothole on the road, or it could be a overflowing dustbin.
Mhm.
If I raise a grievance, except for me, even my neighbor also will not get to know the status of that grievance.
Yeah.
So if 100 people travel on a road and if 100 people are suffering from the same problem of having a pothole on that particular road, instead of raising 100 different grievances, is there a better way of collaboratively raising a single public grievance that
Mhm.
could be supported by everyone else in
Okay.
that particular neighborhood? So one aspect that we identified with the existing platforms is there is no collaborative approach. The second problem that we identified is every government is faces resource crunch. Government is not capable of solving all problems for all the peoples at all times. That is where we have the initiatives from the NGOs, civil society organizations, and CSR funding to tackle issues which could not be solved by government alone. Unfortunately, at this point of time, there is no platform that is pulling together such kind of needs which could be fulfilled by NGOs and CSR entities. So,
Yes,
folks,
yeah, I agree with you completely. This that we have to learn how to use the new technology in ways that are new. I'm really happy to hear this because much of the focus of the government is on digitalization. Digitalization means take the old from the physical and make it digital. Okay? Instead of
yes,
paying in cash, you pay by the phone, but the thing is still the same. What you are saying is that, look, I'm going to do something which was not possible with the physical. This
yes,
synergy, this cooperation, this is something
yes,
that
sir.
is not possible without the social media, you might call it, the smartphone, the WhatsApp groups, or whatever you want to call it. So that's new. It couldn't be there in the
Yes.
past. I'm really happy to hear it. But let me not talk more. Please continue.
No, sir, I'm very happy to listen feedback and I'm always open for constructive criticism as well. So if you have any thoughts, any feedback that you would like to share, please feel free. Please do not hesitate to stop me at any time.
No, but I'm just I'm going to be brief, otherwise it'll become my show.
Okay.
That I like the idea very much. And it is the way that young people in India, they understand the technology's potential better. and they are more nimble and they are able to do it. And you have shown that you are resilient and you don't take failure too seriously. And you bounce back. So I'm really happy to hear your story. So please continue.
Thank you very much for the kind words, sir. I would also like to briefly mention the societal thinking approach. So this approach was started by Sanjay Purohit sir. I do not know whether you have heard about him or not.
No.
So Sanjay Purohit sir is associated with Nandan Nilekani sir and Rohini Nilekani philanthropies. So they have been pushing for a societal thinking approach wherein instead of somebody becoming a problem solver, if we enable the communities to solve their own problems, that will lead to exponential change.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of somebody acting as a problem solver, if we empower the local communities to solve their own problems with the resources that they have, with the stakeholders that are accountable to those particular local communities, that will usher in exponential change that will lead to really measurable outcomes. So with Citijan also, our approach is to build communities in a structured level so that instead of aiming for one big success story, we would like to build and we would like to target a million smaller success stories. This way, even out of the million success stories that we are targeting at the local grassroots level, if at least 10% really synergize, if really 10% of the institutions show meaningful outcomes at the local community level, that may usher in more change.
Well, I'm happy to hear it. Let me not say more. I'm happy to hear it because we do need to break the old system. Not break it, leave it alone. Create something new that didn't exist and could not have existed, and which does not go back and say the government should do this. Because, as you said, there's only so much the government can do.
Yes.
And the new technology allows others to do it either through NGOs or through private enterprise or in some other fashion. I'm really very much in line with my thinking that we should stop saying the government should do this. Yes, it should do many things, no doubt. It has a very powerful role and they should do it. But there is a limit. Where that limit is, I don't know. But you are exploring a limit here. You're saying, okay, there is a limit. Now I'm going to step beyond that limit and empower the people so that they don't have to run to the local government people. Somehow I want to create some energy that some people can solve it on their own with some help and all, which you will provide or whatever. So I'm really happy to listen to this experiment. And I'm glad that there is already somebody in the Nilekani Foundation who's pushing it. So please continue and tell us more.
Sir, I would like to clarify that such an experiment cannot become successful without government support. Okay. Obviously, for such kind of initiative to succeed, we will definitely require government support and the administrative support. So our vision is to provide a platform wherein people can raise grievances, but we are going to collaborate with the administration and the governments to address them. So government effort will be definitely necessary to synergize the efforts of every stakeholder in the same direction. Many a times we hear stories or we hear general opinion among the public that nothing much gets done in government offices. But that perception is so false because I'm observing it firsthand with the work of my mind that a lot gets done in government offices, but unfortunately, majority of it is not known to the public. So if we can create such a platform through which administration can also reach the people to let them know what kind of benefits are it's creating for the public in the jurisdiction of its own office, that will build trust between public and the administration. Mm-hmm. So when we started Citijan, our main goal was, in a way, not our main goal. One of our main goals was, we saw that almost 1/3 of the people do not vote in elections. Even, for example, in the recently concluded 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the voting percentage was 65.79%. That is 1/3 of the people do not vote. So during our interactions with several people, we noticed that people are not able to visualize the daily impact that the government is having on their own lives. So when they're not able to visualize that government's role, they cannot build a trust on the government. I'm surprised to know the fact that many people are not aware of the difference between the subjects that are under the control of state government and under control of the central government. So there is a lot of gap in the awareness levels of the general public, and I am also surprisingly noticing that once we cross the 10th class mark, once we are into the higher education stream of MPC or BPC, we are losing touch with the civics. So that is creating a vacuum wherein citizens are not being educated enough on their own rights and on their own responsibilities. And the one way of building this trust, building this gulf between people and the government, is by making sure that whatever the government is doing, for example, from the water we drink to the from the food we eat, if there is no government, there will be anarchy. So if people are able to visualize it, if people are really aware that a good government is going to help their own lives, then the trust will eventually come, and hopefully that will lead to increased participation from the people in democratic processes and democratic systems.
Okay. It's a tough business that you are taking on. Raising it to 75%, maybe in your area you might be able to do it, but across the country, that is not going to be easy. But still, I like the idea,
Yes.
To explain the difference between state, concurrent, and central and union topics. This is surely very important. And it's time that everybody understood that the chief ministers have some responsibilities. Now, Andhra and Telangana have both done well. Okay, they are my A states, economically A states. So they have done well. Okay, I mean, when you look back and you see the growth rates, they've done well.
Yes, sir.
And it's the other states in India that actually need the kind of help that you will intend to provide, because they are lagging behind. And I think hopefully that at some point you will expand and go to the states where the need is much more than in your area, AP and Telangana. The need is more in other states where the growth rates and the prosperity are just not there comparable to what you see in AP and Telangana. So that's just my message to you, that don't stop at
Definitely,
your
definitely,
local
sir.
level and think of the other states. Think of the other states where the local, the growth rates and the progress is not enough, not enough. And the only way for India as a whole is
Yes,
if
sir.
the lagging
Yes,
states stop lagging.
definitely. Yes.
They need to stop lagging, okay? And they are lagging. There is no question about it. Okay, anyway, let's listen to you. So tell us more.
So that is briefly about Citijan, sir. So as of today, we still haven't launched the product yet. We are still developing the platform, but the plan is to launch the pilot in some time between August to November window in Hyderabad. And the present plan is to run the pilot project for at least 6 months in Hyderabad, and depending on the acceptance levels from the public, from the government, and from the administration, we are planning to scale to other cities. And hopefully, if pilots succeed, then we are planning to scale up to state levels and expand further.
Okay, all right. Now, who's funding you?
Presently, we are completely bootstrapped, sir. So We lie at the cross section of social impact in the startup space. So unless we prove the potential of such a model to be scalable and fundable, we are not planning to approach investors at this stage.
Okay.
Only after the completion of pilot, we will approach investors for any fundraising opportunities.
Okay. So this, your organization, what is the legal structure?
It is a private limited company, sir. It is not a not-for-profit company. We have a business model in place because we believe that for the scale that we are envisioning, depending on donations is not going to make this model work. So we have a business model in place by providing ecosystem services to other diverse democratic stakeholders. For example, each NGO requires some kind of services to make them visible across their local communities. Similarly, for CSR entities, their predominant need is to identify the right place where they can make a difference. Similarly, cooperatives is another target, which we believe that they can truly revolutionize the way the local economies work. For every success story of Amul, if you can replicate them in each and every district of India, that is going to revolutionize the rural economy. So these are the target customers which we'll be hoping to monetize, but we are not considering any kind of monetization in the initial years. Our plan is to first build sufficient number of people on the platform, and once sufficient number of people are there, then we can think of other monetization aspects of the platform.
Okay. And you are never going to go back to what you were doing when you were young. Computers. What did you
No,
study?
sir.
Computer science or something?
Yes, sir. So that really helps in building this platform because as of now, I'm the only one working full time on this platform with the help of one intern from IIT Hyderabad.
Yeah.
So um, and that knowledge definitely is proving useful in taking this initiative.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to tell us?
Sir, I would like to ask you some opinion regarding the AI and employment. So I have noticed your LinkedIn post wherein you have been pushing for creation of more employment opportunities.
Yes.
So in this age of AI, I believe that there is so much focus on what AI can do, but we are lacking focus on what AI can't do. I
Yeah.
believe that employment opportunities can be created when we truly leverage those sectors where AI cannot make a meaningful difference. So, for example, education, health in the sense of creating a nursing personnel, creating medical professionals who who really create that human value, human touch with the patients. So I believe that we should be focusing more on the sectors where AI can't be of much help or where AI can be only an additional support and focus on those sectors to create employment. I would like to know your thoughts or your opinion on such a
Okay.
perspective.
So let me tell you what I and a group of people are planning to do. We are actually looking to do. Some time back, I had
Okay.
written a book, India 2047, in which I had written that India should develop its small towns. The current focus is either on villages or on large cities. In large cities, we talk about metro, we talk about slum redevelopment, we talk about traffic control, we talk about smart cities, and in the villages, we talk about health, education, and so on. But the problem is that in creating overall jobs,
Mhm.
there are a lot of people, young people, millions of them, who have a poor education. Because our rural schools, our schools in small towns, they provide lousy education. And these people come with low education, even if they pass high school, doesn't mean much. Even if they've attended engineering college, it doesn't mean much. And they have a real urgent need for income because their parents are not well to do. They have a real urgent
Yes.
need. So they need the job. Okay, it's very simple. They need the job. But creating So what they do is they end up in slums in large cities in the informal sector. Okay, they do whatever they can to make their ends meet in large cities. So we are going to have perpetual slums in large cities because they're full of people with low levels of skills who are just
Yes.
somehow hoping to be better off than they were in their village. And the schemes that we have to produce, to create jobs, those jobs are in factories. They pay well, but there are few. You invest crores of rupees and you get thousands of jobs. But thousands of jobs not going to do it. We have millions of young people. And those jobs are only in a few states.
Yes, sir.
Because, the people who are setting up big factories, they don't want to go into some lousy city or some lousy state. So you're lucky AP, Telangana, they attract FDI and they attract big investment. But what about the other states? There's nothing much going to happen. FDI, I think, is concentrated in 5 or 6 states.
Yes.
We have nearly 30 states and nearly 15 big states. So my focus right now is to create jobs in the B states. So the A states are the 5 South Indian plus Maharashtra and Gujarat. I don't want to be there. People
Yes.
like you can do your job because they are doing well. Okay. So we have chosen West Bengal, Odisha, and Rajasthan. And in those, we are about to set up a non-profit group. Its name is there,
Okay.
registered.
Yes.
It's called Ecotech Innovators. Ecotech Innovators Lift Up India. So Ecotech is economic and ecological
Okay.
technology, and innovators, we are trying to say, like you said, technology, we are trying to bring new technology, new way of thinking, and to help the local people. We are not asking them to solve their own problems. We are going to help them solve their own. So if we are going to small firms, small meaning, 1 or 2 employees maximum, family.
Yes.
Bring
MSMEs.
them to MSMEs. But in the MSMEs, the first M is medium. Medium, small, micro. The medium are really not in the small towns. They are in the big cities. They don't need anybody's help. They're just a definition. Okay, they don't need help. They are all skilled people. They know what they're doing. They're good. But when they are only 2 or 3% of the total MSMEs, they produce probably 70 to 80% of the total output of the MSMEs. It gives a very misleading picture. You think, MSMEs is those small people. No, those small people are doing nothing. It's the medium that are doing something. Okay. So when we have selected, by definition, we have small means population of 1 lakh in 2011 census.
Okay.
1 lakh, not more, not much more, and not much smaller.
Okay.
So that you have some MSMEs, not the M, first M, S and M. Okay. You have a college, you have some facilities, you have internet, you have Wi-Fi, and land to expand. Okay. And so we have selected 3 towns in each state, 2 at least, and we are hoping to work and catalyze jobs there. And the jobs don't require huge, they're not going to set up big factories. It's not possible. And therefore, they are going to create jobs with small investment, suitable for the people who are low skill levels. To work in a big FDI, you need to be very skilled, but most people are not like that. So what are you going to do for them? So we are hoping to create jobs and increase local incomes by catalyzing what is there. Don't come in and say, listen, do this, which you have never done in your life and you don't know anything about. So catalyze. But to answer your question on AI, we are trying to set up a system by which we go to the local polytechnic or the engineering college, and tell those hardworking, motivated people, young students, that look, even if your college is not top ranked or whatever, some of you are, and some of you want to get ahead. So we are putting together a curriculum of AI, which they can take outside the college from either free on the internet, or if they
Okay.
have to pay some money to Coursera, some fee, then we can pay half of it. They can pay the other half, so that they can get the latest understanding of AI. And of AI also, we have split it into two parts. One is the theory of AI, to develop AI. The other is the application of AI. So, as you said, there are
Okay.
certain sectors in which AI can be used. So why don't they learn how to do it in the small towns? And then they are able, I mean, not everybody, it won't apply for,
Yes, sir.
it will only apply to the select few
Mm-hmm.
who are hardworking, motivated, and who can do this aside from their usual course. And they can say, fine, then I learn all these things and now I can hopefully get a better job outside. Maybe it's remote, perhaps not, perhaps you have to go to the state capital, maybe you have to go to Bangalore. We don't care. But we also want people to be able to stay in their area and make 30,000 rupees a month instead of 10,000. Because
Yes, sir.
30,000, 25, 30,000 rupees a month is not much in a large city, but it's quite a good amount in a small city. So
Nice.
this is the kind of economic and technical thinking. We have a team of experts with us. They are
Okay.
putting together a curriculum. Our team has gone to a small town in West Bengal and talked to the principal of the Polytechnic, who's saying, if you put this together, then the students can use the computer lab. So they don't have to spend money. The Wi-Fi is also in the college. They can use the computer lab and they can do these courses. And if they get ahead, it's good for us, because it brings, the people go outside, but they bring the money back home to support their family
Yes.
and
Yes.
their parents. So they, it brings,
Ultimately, local economies will also improve.
yeah,
It will
because the
create a
people are,
velocity of
yeah, because
yes.
well, the boy or the girl goes outside, makes lots of money. They come home and build a home for their parents, or they improve the school or something. They will give back. It's not like we
Yes.
become
Yes.
total strangers. No, we go back and we spend. So
Yes.
why not let them have a chance? So that is our thinking. And there's, other small enterprises, they're just one or two people. They can't use AI
Mm-hmm.
at this age, at this stage.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
just that some other new technology has to come to help them make things. One of the ideas is that take the local, what they produce, fruits or whatever, and turn it into something that can be hygienically bottled and sold as a local delicacy. Every part of India has a local food delicacy.
Yes.
Every part.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whatever it
So
is,
in a way, food processing industries at the local level.
just, I asked that in this town, what do you make? They say, oh, we make a morabba. Morabba is a jam from the local fruit. We can turn it into a women's cooperative. We are thinking of turning it into a women's cooperative, and they make the fruit with the jam or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
hygienically, and we can help them market it. And so that they know the fruit. We are catalyzing. They know the fruit. They already know
Yes.
how to make it. We have to bring the technology so that it's hygienic and controlled and marketed. Okay, and there are people in India who know how to do that. So anyway, that's my thinking, and we are actually going to start operations soon after the heat is over. Our team has made 4
Okay.
trips to this town in West Bengal. We are hoping to go to
Okay.
Odisha next and then to Rajasthan next. But you have to tell me more about. Okay, let's
Sir,
ask.
I wish you grand success for Ecotech Innovations, and I really hope it catalyzes the. I wouldn't want to use the backward term here, but underdeveloped states. I really want the
No,
local economy.
I don't care. I call them as B states.
Okay, sir.
And
Okay.
because if I don't call them as B states, then people will ask me, hey, why are you not in Andhra? I say, Andhra is A state.
Okay.
I'm not going there. I'm
Okay,
not
sir.
going there. I am going to B states. They are just below average. Okay. I'm very clear. I don't want to go to the worst state. I want to go to the B state and make them A. Okay. Just below the
Yes.
average,
Yes,
above
sir.
average, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So by B, I mean, if you look at their share of population, it is more than the share
Yes.
of GDP.
They
It's very simple. A B state
very
share of the
very
population is more than the share of the GDP. Okay. So there
yes.
may be 10% is the population and contribution to GDP is 8%. Okay. So there are more people than GDP. In Andhra, you go, it might be 15% population, 18% GDP. Good, you are an A state. Please do it yourself. Right? Continue. You're doing well. But I want to go, and I don't want to go to the C and D states because it's very tough. Let other NGOs do it. I just want to have a model by which, and the problem in these states is and including A states, is that too much is in the big cities. Too much is in the big cities. And therefore, they are becoming
Yes.
unlivable. Unlivable. Because spread out here and there, tall, this, that, everything is like traffic will go crazy, slums will be there. And I mean, Hyderabad and Cyberabad are great, but you need to develop the small towns so that people can
Yes.
live a more
Yes,
peaceful
sir.
life. But I leave that to the A states to do it. We are just focused. We hope to be in 10 to, there are each state, I think 15 towns, 1 lakh in 2011 census. In these states, about 15 I'm using as an approximate number. So we hope to be in
Right.
all 15 towns in 3 or 4 years. And we don't spend much money because we catalyze. You are an engineer, you
Understood.
understand what is catalytic.
Yes, yes.
So I want to
Yes,
be
yes.
catalytic.
Yes.
I don't want to come in and say, do something that you don't know anything. This is it. Take my
I also
technology.
believe that every community has its own potential, which if we can leverage its own potential, it will grow by itself. All it
That's
needs is a little bit of push, and I'm happy to hear that you're thinking along the same lines of catalyzing the
same
community.
line. That
Yes,
there are so many government schemes.
yes,
Money
sir.
is
Yes,
there, they're not taking full advantage, they don't know how to take full advantage. So we will help them. Okay, take advantage of government schemes and now in this AI scheme, there's no government scheme. Okay. But we will
okay.
put it, there's no need because they can just take the course on. We say, okay, do these 6 courses. We have our value added is that we have selected it for you and put it in order. A, B, C, D.
Curation of the content.
Yeah, do it like this. It's curation
Yes,
of the content. Do it like this.
yes.
And then if you do well, who knows, we may even help you get a job. So bring the AI revolution to the small towns. This is the idea. And then who knows what they will do with it.
Wonderful.
We trust the young people. Okay, anyway, enough of talk from me. Let's hear from you. Any tips you have for young people?
Sir, I believe that whatever we choose to be, we will become that. So if the young people decide to pursue their passion, that's the single most thing that's going to help them grow to what they want to be.
Okay.
So I'm nobody to suggest or give any tips to the younger generations yet. But if I can tell them one thing, it is to be what they choose to.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add here?
Uh, Nothing else from my side, sir. But I would like to conclude with a story.
Yeah,
So
please.
I saw your LinkedIn post that you will also allow the speaker to target their mother tongue. So I will conclude with a small story in Telugu, and I will also provide a translation if that's okay with you.
Yeah, please.
ఒక పెద్ద బండరాయి మీద ఒక చిన్న చినుకు పడితే ఆ చినుకే ఆవిరైపోతుంది. కానీ అదే బండరాయి మీద ఒకే చోట చినుకు తర్వాత చినుకు, చినుకు తర్వాత చినుకు, కొన్ని వందలు, వేలు, లక్షల చినుకులు పడితే అంత పెద్ద బండరాయిని కూడా ఒక చిన్న గుంత మొదలవుతుంది. అది మార్పు. మార్పుకి కావాల్సిందల్లా తదుపరి తరాలపై నమ్మకం, మన ప్రయత్నంపై విశ్వాసం. So I will just briefly summarize what I have told you, sir. So imagine a hard rock, and if a raindrop falls on that hard rock, nothing much is going to change. That raindrop itself will evaporate. But on that hard rock, at the same place, if a raindrop after raindrop, if hundreds, thousands, lakhs of raindrops fall on that same spot, even if that big hard rock, a small dip will form, a small dip.
Yes.
That is the change. So all we need for a meaningful change is belief in the upcoming generation and to have confidence in our own efforts.
Well, thank you for that story, and thank you for speaking in Telugu, because, it's time we realized that it's not possible to say one language in India. It's just,
Definitely.
to think that, oh, we need one language. No, we don't. We need to have each place have its own language. And I want to emphasize that look,
We need to celebrate diversity.
no, not diversity. We need to celebrate local is local. Okay. I'm
Yes.
like this. The diversity, I don't care. I'm like this. I want to be like this.
Okay.
Right? Diversity is an abstract thing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It's something in the school book. I'm like this. I want to be like this. I don't, have to be like you. I'm me. So we have separate languages. We have separate food. We have separate cultures. And, and sometimes we enjoy each other, like we like Natu Natu song. And the world likes it too, right? So,
Yes.
so I decided that, look, I am going to tell people that they can speak in the language that they want to speak and convey the message locally. And at the same time, we have a link language that is English, and we need not think it's some foreign or colonial thing, because we don't feel it colonial. We feel we are like this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why should we be ashamed of using English, and why should we be ashamed of using Telugu or Malayalam or whatever language that we have? We have it. And so let's recognize that reality. And let's not try to force feed people into one structure, that, oh, we are nationally one. No, we are national, but we are not like each other. We have our, why should we give up eating my food just because it's supposed to be a national food? No. But actually it's true now, though. Of course, when I was growing up in Jaipur, we didn't have much South Indian food. Today we have, and we eat it, right? No problem. You can find dosa even in a small town in Rajasthan, right? Because they learned it. But that's the way it should be. That's why I decided to introduce this feature of giving an option. You want to speak in Telugu to the people, Bengali, Telugu, Malayalam, whatever. Please do it. Okay. So, all right. So, thank you, Phani, so much. Let's end it here today.
Thank you. Thank you very
really
much, sir. It
glad
was wonderful to interact with you.
Yeah, wonderful to see you and to hear what you are doing. Best of success, best of luck. Let's end the recording here. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye, everybody.